Okay, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Excuse me. Welcome to a Friday edition of Morning Scone, presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Restored Motions, RestoredMotions.com, and ProCharge EV, ProChargeEV.com. All right, we appreciate you for being here with us this morning, as always, or if you're watching on demand at any part of the day. You can see by the description there what is on my mind. For those of you who listen to AFR on Thursday, you no doubt saw what was the reasoning behind the headline. So Jeffrey Marks came on AFR. He's done some fantastic reporting on the matter. He's interviewed more than 25 people. He's requested and been denied interviews with the likes of Governor Edwards, President Tate, Donna Edwards, and others, Mary Warner. He has gone on the record with board members such as Jay Blossman, Collis Temple, certainly spoken to Dale Brown, on the record with Dee Dee Bro, who continues to be one of the drivers of this thing. And it's very clear. I'll oversimplify it for Sean Comiskey said, "Were the black limousines outside your house today? Do they follow you rock to school?" No, man. I'll oversimplify the story, and I would really encourage you, if you have the time, to go listen to hour 2 of AFR yesterday. When you take out the commercials and all this stuff, it'll probably take you about 45 minutes to get through it. But I would strongly encourage you to listen or watch it on YouTube. And Jeffrey goes through a lot of his evidence and a lot of his research. And part of that, I'll tell you, is the public records request, which he put in, which LSU's legal counsel were supposed to comply with in 3 days by law. They dragged their feet, finally turned over more than 600 pages of documents yesterday. So and that was the first batch. I'm very excited to see what that will disclose, because people, as we've seen so many times, are stupid, and they will put things in writing that they never think will see the light of day. But I'll oversimplify it. There's an LSU board member named Mary Warner. She is the daughter of a man named Buddy Leach, who died last year at 88 years old in August, this past August. He was a longtime politician. He was an oil, gas, and land man who amassed a huge fortune. His daughter, obviously, now has that fortune. She, in the name of equality, all the things, tried to push for a co-naming of the court at the PMAC for Dale Brown and Sue Gunter. The Board of Supervisors voted that down 12-3. They voted the same 12-3 to approve Dale Brown Court. Mary Warner was the dissenting vote, along with the student board representative at the time, who Mary Warner just dragged along with her. It was a female. And Jay Blossman. And Jay Blossman spoke on the record and said that he voted against it, not because he was voting against Dale. He just didn't like the process that LSU had in place for naming things. So he would have voted against anything. So really it was Mary Warner. Well, the court passes. Dale Brown's name is on the court. It goes along. Mary Warner never gives up, because she's a rich woman, I presume, who was used to getting her way and didn't get her way this time. Because she has a great fortune, and because the governor of Louisiana either has political aspirations, I would assume, to be a senator, a congressman, or whatever he does in the private sector, will need her support and her money. And so he, along with President Tate, have decided to work in back rooms, etc., to get the board to change their mind. I'll remind you that the board serves at the pleasure of the governor. He appoints them. And so, as Jeffrey reported, The governor had a lunch at the governor's mansion where he, in no uncertain terms, made it known that he wanted this court to be renamed and co-named for Dale Brown and Sue Gunter. And they are secretly trying to push it through on the agenda for the board meeting, which is a week from today. This has been known for some time now. A lot of people have been trying to persuade the governor to stand down and to leave it alone and to find another way to honor Sue Gunter, which would be completely fine. And because we finally got close enough to the vote, which is supposed to be a week from tomorrow, we'll see if they put it on the agenda and if it stays there. It was time to just shine a light on it, because I think the only way to get it stopped was to pressure the governor to stop. And so hopefully enough people will flood him on Twitter and Facebook and his email inbox and tell him to stand down. So Louisiana politics at its absolute worst. And the governor has some lackey running around on Twitter for him, saying, oh no, board members came to the governor and he thought it was because of their great legacies that they put codenamed. I'm like, yeah, okay. So the board that voted against, 12-3 against a co-name, 12-3 for naming it after Dale Brown, less than a year later, all of a sudden, they all have a change of heart and come to the governor and say, we think it would be great if they co-named the court. By the way, they don't need the governor's permission. Just go vote and put it on the freaking agenda and vote. Anyway, it's lunacy. Like, it's intellectually dishonest what they're doing, and the excuse making they're giving. So never forget that your politicians work for you, and they are, although it's been completely convoluted over the years, they should be working to represent your and my interests. And if enough people tell them these are their interests, hopefully they abide. I mean, you basically have one pissed off rich lady because she didn't get her way, trying to yield and wield her influence over the governor, who is too weak-minded to do what's right and only cares about, in this instance, supporting or pleasing a wealthy person in the state. And it's unfortunate, man. It's very unfortunate. Anyway, so that's my hope, is y'all will continue to flood the governor. Just flood him. Flood him on Twitter, flood him on Facebook. Go look at the tweet that I have pinned, retweet it, comment. Make sure you tag the governor and President Tate. Facebook, I have a post on there as well. However you're watching right now on Facebook, on my Facebook page, there's a post. The governor's tagged in it. Please go comment. Email him. Email board members. It's so disheartening, man. And I'll tell you the worst part, like literally the worst part, is Dale Brown at 87 years old has had this honor, which he didn't ask for, right? He didn't go pound the pavement saying, name the court after me. They brought it to him and said, we're going to do this. Great. It's a great honor. And then less than a year later, he's caught in the middle of all this hullabaloo, and they've stained the honor for him, and it's been a tremendous amount of stress on him at 87 years old. It's ridiculous. Now I keep saying, it's like, and to the counter argument of, well, why not co-name it and honor them both? I'm like, okay, would you co-name the Washington Monument after another president because someone came along and was really influential? No, you do something else for them. Like, that's the thing. You've named the court. It's Dale Brown Court. Do something else. I mean, Jeff gave the example of Alec Box Stadium. Alec Box, a baseball player, died in World War II. They named the baseball stadium after him. 50 years later, Skip Bertman comes along, legendary coach. Well, the stadium's already named. What do you do? Name the field after Skip Bertman. Like, Florida did that with Ben Hill Griffin Stadium, and then Steve Spurrier Field, right? Like, we going to hyphenate the PMAC and add Simone Augustus' name to it because she came along and was the greatest female player ever? The Pete Maravich Simone Augustus Center? Come on. Nobody's saying don't honor Sue Gunter. We're saying do it in a different way. Sue Gunter already has a statue, and there's a shrine to Sue Gunter in the concourse of the PMAC. You want to honor Sue Gunter, fine. Name something else after her. Name the practice facility. Name a street on campus. Name anything you want. Just not the thing that's already named. Anyway. All right, David Coslin, good morning. Truax, what's good, man? Yeah, man, great time. Truax invited me to a Bourbon Barons of Baton Rouge meeting last night. Blind taste. Truax, you got to let me know what won, man. I'm curious. I had to scoot before they tabulated the votes and everything, but pretty cool, really cool night. Good people, really enjoyed it. Kelly Gross, Bubba Smith, Lowell Cormier, good morning. Trivia Carter, Wendell Norman, Merrick Mathern, Hunter Broadhead, Larry Garner, Jason H, hashtag Team Drew, hashtag Shoe Gang. What's going on? Keith H, good morning. It's going from London. Still haven't found the Nuss Bus. Okay. What time is it in London? Let's see. It's 7:40 here. What are y'all, 6, 7 hours ahead? About 3 o'clock in the afternoon there, maybe? Let's see. Matt Plavidal, going to be a grind with the post office, but the weather's awesome, so going to enjoy it. What is the weather today? Oh, cold, huh? It is, it's 41 right now, but high is 61. Would be nice. Be safe out there. Brad David, what would happen years from now if Kim Mulkey wins multiple championships? Would they add her name to the court? That is a great, great point. One that several people made off air to me yesterday, and one I wish I thought of on air, Brad. So what happens if Kim Mulkey goes and wins multiple? We're going to then rename the court the Brown Gunter Mulkey Court? I mean, you see how stupid this gets? Once you start to do that, now you've opened this ridiculous can of worms. Like, now what else do you do? There are plenty of ways to honor people. And the most absurd part of it is this board already voted against a co-name and voted to name it for Dale Brown and named the court. They had the ceremony and everything. The man's name is on the court. And here we go. Spurge, what's up, man? Peter Fenner turned 50 yesterday. Got the NOLA Air Force Ones. I love it, dude. Question, what do I do with the authentic tag? I don't know that, man. I think all that stuff, I keep it, I guess, but all that stuff, I think people keep, I've kept my boxes, but people keep the boxes and all that sort of stuff. I think as if they're trying to flip them, right? If you're going to resell. But I'm not reselling any of my shoes. Like, I'm wearing all of my shoes. So, I don't get it. Reed Rule, happy Friday. Favorite Super Bowl prop you bet on? I don't know that I've ever bet on a Super Bowl prop, Reed. I know they do like the length of the anthem, the silly ones like the color of the Gatorade that they dump on the coach, and is the opening kickoff going to be a touchback or is it going to be returned? I don't know, man. I've never really bet props. I'll tell you, there are people that that do that. I'll tell you, there's a guy that goes on Jimmy's show that's what he does. He is like ace at prop bets. So I'll be listening to Jimmy's show, and so whatever they give out for that, I'll play. Weston Weaver, good morning, Matt. Incredible interview yesterday. Super informative, well handled. Thank you, Weston. Eric Wilderrider, good morning, Matt. To me, the saddest part of this is I see Sue Gunter's name on the court. It's just going to piss me off. Very unfortunate. And look, I didn't know Sue Gunter, but the really unfortunate thing, and I don't mind disclosing this, is that several of the people I've talked to who did know Sue Gunter well would say she'd be the first person to be like, what are y'all doing? And I keep going back to why. Like, why? Why? Like, why? Why do this? It just doesn't, like, there is just no good reason. I keep going back to this. Why? It wasn't like Dale and Sue were at odds. They were great friends. It's... LSU SEC baseball wins 21.5 You take an over under? I'd go over 21 and a half. I'd go over. Merrick Mathern, I think the governor has more things to worry about than whose name is on a basketball court. He should, Merrick. And that's the unfortunate part. But what he's thinking is next move in life. And he knows he'll need Mary Warner's support for it. Casey Smith, morning, Matt. Let's get the quick GameCoin update. Yeah, man, we are still on target for a Q1 launch. Big news, which unfortunately I cannot disclose right now, but will soon. That happened, let's say, in the last 2 weeks. Platform looks great. Developers are on target and continue to tell us that we will be ready for a launch in Q1. So you can do the math on that. So we're going to cross our fingers and knock on wood and work really hard and push toward a launch by the end of Q1. Louis Malhoit. Let's see. Jacob Willis, good morning. Guy Brooks, good morning. DT, first time in 4 years of watching you. I've seen you dip your toe in the political arena. Yeah, DT, and it wasn't a political conversation. It's not about politics. It's just a story where politicians have decided to get involved. And honestly, DT, it's why I hate politics. It's why I, very early in my career, left news after doing 4 or 5 years of news because of things like this. Because things like this are so disheartening. Where people who are elected to serve the public misuse the power granted upon them. And we, the people, are left as pawns in their game. And it's disheartening. It's why I hate it. I choose ambivalence, DT. I just go about my life and completely ignore politics. I don't pay any attention to it at all. Because of this kind of stuff that happens every single day. And because people are so intellectually dishonest to get whatever agenda passed that they want. It doesn't actually serve people. It's so disheartening, man, and I hate it. I absolutely hate it. It's because of reasons like this. Shelby Kelly, your tweet about John Bell is working. 2 buddies that didn't listen to the show yesterday have been asking me about it this morning. Good. I mean, that's what I want to see happen. Honestly, Shelby, I want everybody to go retweet that, like it, comment it on, share the Facebook post, tag John Bell Edwards, right? I mean, that's the only way to push it forward, you know. And I'm gonna tell y'all, Jeffrey Marks, and I know a lot of people maybe you know Jeffrey is Walking with Tigers. He's been on my show. He wrote the book, but I don't think people realize Jeffrey Marks, and I'll brag on him a little. I know he's, for a guy who's accomplished what he has, he's as humble a guy as you'd ever meet. But Jeffrey is the youngest Pulitzer Prize winner in history. At 22 years old, back in the 1980s, he did 7 months worth of research on the cheating scandal within Kentucky basketball, which ultimately landed them on probation. He has worked in New York and DC, and he's worked on Capitol Hill. He is a great reporter. He's an author. Of course, he wrote Walking with Tigers, which you all know, but he wrote Season of Life, which, I mean, is a New York Times bestseller. It's at like its 49th or 50th printing. He's traveled the world. He wrote biographies for Carl Lewis. Like, he is a dude who lives here because he married a Louisiana girl and they choose to live here. And Jeffrey is going through, I was talking to him last night. Jeff was going through over 600 pages of documents via public records request. And he was reading to me some of the stuff he found. And a lot of the people that are trying trying to downplay their roles in this are foolish enough to have put in writing, email, text messages, etc., things that completely confirm their involvement in all of this. And that's all coming. Jeff Hawk, what's up, my dude? Hope you're doing well, man. Jackson Carney, let's see. See, I disagree with this. Jackson said, never should have named the court for someone who didn't win a national title in the first place. You open yourself up to this sort of thing because Sue's resume is similar. I could not disagree with you more, Jackson. The honor was bestowed upon Dale Brown, and I could name plenty of places that have named a court, a building, a stadium after coaches that did not win a national championship. Gene Cady Court at Purdue. Gene Cady never won a national championship. The honor is specific to that university. Pete Maravich, not only did Pete Maravich not win a national championship, Jackson, Pete Maravich never went to the NCAA tournament. Yet the building is named after him. Why? Because the thing he did at LSU was extraordinary, just like what Dale Brown did. Nobody cared about LSU basketball until Dale Brown got here. He went to 13 straight tournaments, 2 Final Fours. He brought players here that created a legacy. And on top of that, he's got 50 years worth of humanitarian works in our city, state, country. That is a lifetime achievement. And that's what they were honoring. And for you to discredit that, quite honestly, is ignorant and sucks. Trivia, have you been called a sexist yet? No, because it's not about that at all. I'm perfectly fine honoring Sue Gunter. That's not the point. It's not, the point is not don't honor Sue Gunter. The point is don't dishonor Dale Brown. Find another way to honor Sue Gunter. If they name something after Sue Gunter, I'll be the first to applaud them. I'm good with it. I'd be great with that. But just like you're not going to co-name the Maravich Center, you're not going to co-name anything. Pete was a player, so it's not quite the same thing. Jackson, listen, you can get into whatever verbal gymnastics you want. You know you are being intellectually dishonest. Pete's a player. It doesn't matter. I mean, come on, bro. What are you talking about? You want to go down that road? What about people who have retired jerseys? Ben McDonald never won a national championship. His 19 is retired. You want to unretire that? Of course not. He deserves the honor because of what he did here. He's incredible. Let's see. And so then by that, let's see, Matt Flynn. Matt Flynn won a national championship. So should he have his jersey retired because he won a national championship? Come on, bro. Devin Kelly, sweet hoodie, bro. Thanks. Brett DeGrow, what's going on? Joe Parker, did Sue have ties with practice facility to build a state-of-the-art facility in her name? I'm sorry, I don't understand the question. Sean Comiskey, what player coaches will follow Peyton to Denver? Yeah, he said not a fan of Dennis Allen interviewing Joe Woods. Yeah, Sean, I don't care if he hires Joe Woods because realistically, whoever Dennis Allen hires to be the defensive coordinator, you're just a defensive coordinator in name. I mean, Dennis Allen is the defensive coordinator, right? So, whatever. All right, YouTube, please smash that like button. We appreciate you for being there. Facebook, please like the page, share the post. Like the page, share the post. Kelly Gross, Bubba Smith, Lowell Cormier, David Tolson. I'd be happy with the basketball net being named after me. Craig Duga, what's the status of Nicholson being renamed to Will Wade Boulevard? Also, 10-12 split going to change the Smoke Laval rest area. Politics are crappy community theater nowadays. It's true. I think that's what it's always been, Craig, but yes. Richard Tilley Sr., where does the president of the university stand on the basketball court? He is the one who went and had lunch with Dale Brown and Collis Temple on Dale Brown's birthday, Halloween, at TJ Ribs, who asked Dale to voluntarily move aside and Dale, in no uncertain terms, said no. And it wasn't because he didn't want to honor Sue Gunter or anything like that. It's not his place. He didn't ask or stump to have a court named for him. There was an honor bestowed upon him. And now they're basically saying, hey, can you give us that back? Like, what if you win the Heisman Trophy? People vote for you and give you the Heisman Trophy. And then they come back a year later and go, hey, you know what? Actually, I think we're going to share last year's award with you and someone else. Why don't you just say, hey, look, they had a really good season too. Why don't we just share it for this year? I mean, come on, like, be honest with yourself and accept like how absurd that is. Chuck Sanchez, what's up, Chuck? Get it? Up, Chuck? Good morning, Scone. You hit the nail on the head. We elect politicians who forget our needs and serve their actions and beliefs usually stir people to take a side and create animosity. That's why I never let someone's political beliefs determine our friendship. Hey, Ryan, I'm in to give Drew what's going on. Hey, I need another favor. I'm asking another favor. If you would, how do you get the link? I think I posted it on, I did post it on Facebook yesterday. Long story short, the HUDCO Google reviews, Google has split the reviews for the Bossier office and the Baton Rouge office. So like the Baton Rouge office has we're all the same company, obviously, but if you go to Google, our search engine optimization is lower because we have, like, the Baton Rouge office has like 5 reviews because they've all gone. So anyway, I posted a link that will take you directly to the to the Baton Rouge Google review page. If we've helped you at all, or if I've helped you, or if you would mind going and leave us a 5-star review, that would be awesome. I would really appreciate it. Bailey C, thank you for being honest, Matt. That's why you're successful. Thank you, Bailey C. I appreciate it. Gregory Gordy, what's going on? No, see, Jackson, just having an opinion you don't like doesn't mean someone is being intellectually dishonest. But it does mean you're being intellectually dishonest, Jackson, because this is the point that I'm making. When the board votes 12-3 against co-naming it, and then votes the same 12-3 to name it after Dale Brown, and less than a year later, someone in the governor's office says, I'll tell you this clown's name. I'll find him. It's Eric Kroll or something like that. I don't care. I can't find it. I'm short on time. When someone from the governor's office says, well, the board members came to the governor with this idea, and he thought it was a good idea because it's a way to honor both of their legacies. That is being intellectually dishonest if you believe that. That a board of people would overwhelmingly vote for something, and less than a year later, the same board would all just for no apparent reason have a change of heart and come to the governor when they don't need to come to the governor, by the way. They can just put it on the agenda and go vote. But they come to the governor and say, I think this is a good idea. Why would you come to the governor for that? That has nothing at all to do with the governor of Louisiana. That is being intellectually dishonest. It is. If you believe that, you are being intellectually dishonest, because that there is no logic in that 1 + 1 doesn't equal 2 there. You're trying to convince me 1 + 1 = 3. And if what your argument is that the only people that should be honored are people that have won a national championship, I'll disagree with you, because there are plenty of people that never win national championships, not only at LSU, but plenty of places that are and deserve to be honored as such. See, this, okay. And then last thing. So Stephen Miller said, better question, why the governor picked up the phone and spent 1 second of his time in the story. So Stephen, that is the question that I and everyone have asked a bajillion times over. But the answer is easy. The bigger question is why the people that are pressuring the governor are doing so. The governor is doing this because of Mary Warner. And again, I understand there's a lot of people who don't know names in the state, but Mary Warner she's a board member. She is the daughter of a longtime politician, land, oil, and gas man named Buddy Leach, who died in August at 88 years old. And she is a huge contributor to the governor. The governor appointed her to the board, of course. And whatever the governor does when his term ends, if it's U.S. Senate, U.S. House, if it's private sector, he's going to need Mary Leach as an ally. And so Mary Leach is the one who is pushing this forward with the help of Dee Dee Bro, who, that baffles me too, because you ask anyone around LSU about Dee Dee Bro and they roll their eyes. Like, it stuns me that anyone would think she has any influence. And then the governor's wife, Donna Edwards. Primarily, those three ladies are the ones pressuring the governor to influence the board that he appointed to change the name. And he is kowtowing because of Mary Warner's money. That's basically it. Like, I'm oversimplifying the whole thing, but that's basically it. And then you're going to ask, well, why does Mary Warner want this done? Great question. Great question. She won't speak on the record. She has been requested for interview and comments. And I'll tell you, part of it is foolishly, they think this will help with the Title IX investigation at LSU, because LSU is in a federal Title IX investigation, which there was no, like, do you honestly think like co-naming a court is going to help with a federal Title IX investigation when you had administrators covering up rape and sexual assault? Come on. Louisiana, man. Okay, I got to go, y'all. Got to get Drew up, get him to school. I'm going to work out, and then a busy day. So if you missed the interview with Jeffrey Marks, that is actually LSU Daily today. It's the entire interview. So we appreciate y'all for being here. So, all right, have an awesome day. YouTube, smash that like button. Facebook, please like the page, share the post. Till tomorrow. Later.